Hello, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and everybody else under the rainbow of our wonderful community. How are you doing? Today, we are back with Sexy Spicy September, as I have been saying every day this month. Is it getting annoying to you guys at the beginning of every video? Like, I feel like it should be getting annoying, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But we're here, and we're playing a new game, as we always do. Today's game is Obscura. And as always with Sexy Spicy September, if I'm not putting vids up on YouTube, I'm over live on Twitch. So if you want to check out all of that information, as well as information about the game, make sure you check the description box down below. Yeah. So what about Obscura? I once heard a story. There's a marketplace under the mountain where anything can be bought and sold. Visitors wear masks to become faceless strangers. It's home to the unscrupulous, the outcast, and the desperate. You're one of the desperate. Wow, okay, call me out, game. That's fine, I guess. Strangers with their own secrets and ambitions can show you ways through the market. They'll guide you to your goal, but don't trust them to have your best interests at heart. So when I booted up this game, it was like, this is 18 plus. Like, I feel like a lot of my games low-key are kind of, you know, on the higher range of things. Why none of my videos are meant for kids. This is the first chapter of a multi-chapter series, and it looks like we have 2 love interests that we can kind of go for. So with that, let's jump into the game, shall we? Just letting you guys see my preferences. So I have windowed, disabled, we have default. This was interesting. There's going to be timed choices, and I could have said not timed, but I want to have a little bit of, you know, anxiety induced to my games, apparently. And then we have a screen shake as well, so this will be interesting. Let's begin. No one goes into the mountain without a reason. Alrighty, creepy background, cool, thanks, game, cool. Purpose of business. Buying. No one takes their past into the mountain. How are you gonna pay? Some funds, some work. Good luck with that. Everyone knows what it means when you go. No one says anything about it. Give me your bags. The guard looks through my things with perfect efficiency. Bored, they start asking me questions. What are you gonna be called down there? Ms., Mr., Mix. Ooh, that's the first time that I've seen, like, mix used to show they, them. You know what? I like it. Let's go with it today. What will you be called? I'm gonna be called Reaper, like I always am. Reaper. Good choice. You have a mask, Mix Reaper? No one would sell me one. Not a problem here. If you're buying, we're selling. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did not think those were masks. They are apparently masks. I thought they were something else. I thought they were much creepier. The gate guard waves to the mask hanging around the entrance. Perhaps once worn by other visitors. Masks are an old custom. Plausible deniability. We're all faceless strangers under the mountain. Pick your poison. Charcoal colored one with worn lace and gold trim. I like that. A cream colored one with flowery details painted across the left side. A burgundy colored one with swirling embossed patterns. Ooh. Kind of torn. Actually, you know what? I think I want burgundy. I think the burgundy seems really, really cool. Swirling patterns is also really pretty. Let's go. I take a mask off the wall and fit it to my face. It weighs on my head, but my mind feels lighter. I see my reflection in the mirror. Oh, yeah! That was a good choice. Good choice, Reaper. The people under the mountain have beautiful taste. I hand the gate guard the money owed. Welcome to the marketplace. They step aside, allowing me passage into the tunnel in the side of the mountain. I begin my descent. Oh, okay, I'm in. I am pulled in. Yo, this is kind of cool. At first, I have to wonder if I've been tricked in some way. The passage grows narrow, the air stale, and the path uneven. I'm walking by the last feeble threads of light that reach this deep. But then I see something. A shimmering pale blue glow from around a corner. I fight through the narrowing walls until I'm able to turn the corner. The passage suddenly widens. Then it opens. I feel like I would get claustrophobic, personally. Like, I don't think I would make it this far. I'd get too claustrophobic from it. I step from the passage into a cavern, so massive I can hardly see the end of it. The marketplace. There's several masked people who were seated or leaning against the walls around this little entryway, and now they're approaching me. Welcome, newcomer! A fresh face! Someone new could use a guide, couldn't they? Hucksters, or perhaps petty thieves looking for an easy mark. My valuables are kept under my heavy robe, safe from pickpockets. I steel myself and march forward past the strangers. There's no logic to this place. A fishmonger selling dried and salted fish sits next to a bookseller with stacks of forbidden tomes. Tomes, it's tomes. Dang it! A fungusman and birdkeeper are bickering. If they weren't obvious scams, I could have taken one of the offers for a guide and saved myself some time. At first, I glance at each stall in turn. Out here, nearest the entry tunnel, all of the stalls are selling simple amenities or cheap thrills. The sorts of things a departing traveler might want to have when they ascend. Not what I'm looking for. It's not here. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be. Asking one of the sellers, I get directions. The rough walls of this cavern shifting and trembling in unsteady candle and glowworm light. Slowly turn smooth where natural walls turn to human carved. The ramshackle stalls turn to ramshackle buildings to painted and varnished walls. The quality of goods on sale is improving as well. The cheap basics are behind me. Ahead are the rare, the luxurious, and the illicit. The real reason anyone comes here. Seeing the sign for an apothecary, an easily recognizable serpent coiling around a staff, I slip inside. Welcome. The shopkeeper is masked, of course. That's not what grabs my attention. The din of hundreds of voices selling and buying and negotiating in the echoing caves is muffled, but not by much. That is because while the apothecary has 4 walls, there's no roof over the store. Newcomer, huh? What? You must be a fresh arrival. And why would you say that? You're staring where the ceiling should be. Ah! I suppose in a city with no sun or rain, roofs are unnecessary. Only thing a roof keeps out is in the marketplace is thieves. A common weather pattern here? Far too common. I make an effort to examine the apothecary's mask. It's plain. Plainer even than mine. Perhaps he's frugal, or perhaps he's poor by the standards of the marketplace. Well, you weren't driven in here by the weather. What do you need? I'm looking for lunar ichor. Ichor? Ichor. I hope I don't have to say that a lot of times because I did not make that. I don't know which is which. I resist the urge to explain my circumstances to the shopkeeper. No matter how meaningless or petty they seem, my secrets are one of the few resources I have in these depths. You have expensive tastes, or terrible luck. What I don't have is really? Really, game? I just said I don't want to say it again because I don't know how to say it, and the game is like, well, ain't you out of luck. The lunar stuff, that's it. What I don't have is lunar that. Is that something you can remedy, apothecary? No. If money is a concern, I can make arrangements. It's not the money. I could never afford to stock that damnable... Really? The one word I don't know! that damnable stuff, because it really is. Even if I could, I doubt I would be able to stomach it. The rumors were true then. That is unfortunate. Where does one go then to find that damnable thing? Yeah, I'm ignoring it now. Sorry, writers, but I'm ignoring it. Smugglers' dens. The vaults of the lords of the market. Or perhaps you could take a knife to the lunar god. Failing that, the auction house may provide. It's the largest house this side of the ruby walls. It even has a roof. The apothecary cannot see my smile, but I hope he can hear it. I thank you for your timely advice, sir. Save your thanks for the lunar god. It'll be a miracle if you get that thing. I take my leave of the shop. The noise rises again from loud to deafening. There are tunnels and additional caverns in all directions, but I continue the way I was going. If the walls are getting smoother and the buildings more beautiful, then I'm approaching the richest part of the market. It stands to reason that is where the auction house will be. Keeping my eyes up, it takes no time to find the auction house. It is, as the apothecary said, the largest house this side of the ruby walls. There are long chains of glowworms draped over the promised rigid roof that dangle and sway as the air shifts in the cavern. The building itself is deep garnet red. The building itself is deep garnet red with gilded trim. Message received. You're very wealthy, whoever built this. The doors, covered in tiny engravings impossible to interpret in the dim lights, are wide open. Bright golden lamplight pours out into the street. People are freely milling in and out, and so I slip inside. I'm underdressed for the occasion, but neither of the guards standing at the doors move to stop me. The sound of the outside suddenly dims, and I have to blink against the sudden brightness. I can hear my own muffled footsteps as I cross the plush carpet deeper into the auction house. That was a really nice touch, that the sound of like everybody on the street faded out as the story was moving us into the auction house. That was a very nice touch, game. The whispered conversations through masks make a thin fog of sound compared to the din outside. The signs are in a language I do not recognize, but I can make some educated guesses. The ornate double doors, standing locked and guarded, must lead to the actual auction hall. There's a short, uncarpeted hall with gleaming polished floors lined with several doors. After a second, I see a giggling pair exit one of the rooms and straighten their clothes. Oh ho ho! I see what you were doing. Even behind closed doors, I see what you were doing. That explains that, then. There's one door that is a little more than a window on hinges left open. I peer inside for a second, only to see an ordinary office. Come in. The stranger sitting behind the desk waves to me, and so I step inside. Pardon me, I didn't mean to intrude. You can't intrude on the bookkeeper. I must always be available. You must be? How else could anyone check to ensure I'm not meddling in the books? Does it really come to that? Well, I have no such concerns. A buyer, are you? Couldn't I simply be a browser? You really believe someone would come to the marketplace, to the auction house, just looking to see what they find? I suppose someone must have in all of history. Well, if that's the scale you're measuring by. You, however, are not here to browse. No, I'm not. You're right. I'm here to buy. Shall I show you the catalog for the next auction? I would appreciate it. The bookkeeper stands and hands me a sizable booklet. Do not damage it. Do not leave here with it. They open a drawer to their desk and hold up a knife. It's a little thing, but I have no doubt they could kill me with it. Then they sit again and resume their work. I flip through the book. There are objects of unimaginable value, works of art by artists even I know by name, an exquisite jeweled tiara fit for any princess, the deed to a country manor on the surface. Then there are the wonders I could have never dreamt of. The birds wreathed in flames that never burns, the still beating bloodstone heart of some rock nymph, a potion of clear vision. I flip a page and am met with the miserable, exposed face of a young adult. Their posture is low and defeated, but they are beautiful. The text informs me that whatever is paid in the auction will be sent to their family within the mountain. Surely not. I flip the page again. There are no other people in the catalog, but one is enough to turn my stomach. Thank you, bookkeeper. Finished already? What I want isn't here. And what is it that you want? I'll check the history, see when it was last sold. I bite my tongue for a moment. Lunar Ecor? Is it Ecor? I think it's Ecor. An unlucky one, aren't we? I couldn't say. If you would, bookkeeper. They shuffle through a notebook. I try to read the text, but it's nearly impossible to interpret their faint pencil scratchings. More bad luck to heap on your pile, I'm afraid. The last sale was 3 months back. It's unlikely we'll get another sale for months yet, unless someone new comes with the stock. It couldn't be easy, could it? And what was the final price for it? For a lot of 12. The number they tell me is stomach-dropping. I cannot gather those funds in a lifetime. Even if I did 12 ways, the price for a single vial is well beyond my means. My life savings weigh heavily in the coin purse under my robe. Dead weight, it seems. By your silence, I guess you don't have the money. Thank you for your time. I try to keep my voice neutral. When I leave the auction house, I momentarily lose my sight and hearing as I adjust again to the dim, echoing cavern. I don't notice the direction my feet are taking me. My hopes for a quick visit to the market have been thoroughly dashed. Now I have to determine what to do. I'll think better after some rest. I can't afford to give up. I can't afford to give up, I don't think. There's gotta be someone in this place that knows where I can get some, right? But I don't know, is time a big thing for me right now? Should I get some rest? No, yo, I'm gonna stick with it. I can't afford to give up. I cannot allow myself to give in to difficult circumstances. If I give up on getting the Lunar Ecor, I'm sorry, chat, don't come for me. You too, please don't come for me, guys, please. I might as well throw myself off the mountain. Seriously, if you come for me, I'll just... Can't say that. For now, I need a place to stay. My feet ache from the climb up the mountain, and my spirit is draining away in these cramped, noisy conditions. I stop by a stall and ask directions for a decent inn, rest stop, public house, anything. Okay, cool. So it's not just like a... You don't just, like, stop here. Like, you could stay here for a bit to get your, like, you know, all these crazy things you need in the marketplace. Following the directions through a short tunnel, I wander through a quieter district of the marketplace. Though quiet is relative. The guest house is a challenge to find. Though I hesitate to call the ground-down walking paths roads, there are rest houses lining them on either side. The Leaping Bear, the guest house recommended to me, is nothing remarkable. The building has a roof, but the building itself is mostly made of raw wood. The brass doorknob is smooth under my hand, polished by the thousands of guests who come and go. The artwork of these backgrounds is just absolutely gorgeous. Holy crap. Inside, the atmosphere is boisterous, but on the scale of a handful of people singing a drinking song. But on the scale... Oh, okay. The chaos outside is already muffled and distant. Welcome. Oh, it's a woman. My bad. Should I give her a more feminine voice, maybe? The woman who approaches has her face fully covered in a bear mask, but her neckline is untied and exposed. Madam. I wonder who she works for. Hello, I was told this is a good establishment to stay the night. You were told right. Except the part about night. Here there's no real difference between night and day. Plenty of folks are up all hours of the day as you do, just sleeping when they're tired and forgetting the sun ever existed. I see. The bear-masked woman has me sign into a guest book and I pay for the night. What do you sign? Like, do we put Reaper then? Like, I guess you come down there with the made-up name? But then, then you would have to change your name the next time you come down, right? Why would you? I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, you need to keep record of everyone who stays, but like, I feel like that kind of takes away from, you know, everyone being secretive down here. You have the room for 24 hours. If you're staying longer, I expect you here to pay for more time before it runs out, or else all your things will be sent to a moonshine. I'll remember. Thank you. And you'll be needing these. She hands me a dull metal medallion on a leather string and a key. Dear Rufus over there. She gestures to a mountain of a man, also in a bear mask, standing by a door. Make sure only guests go to the rooms. That medallion proves you're a guest. Don't lose it. Or else I'll find my things at a moonshine. Pick things up quickly, you do. Seems like an important skill to have here. Quite right. She gets back to her business, so I approach the mountain of a man guarding the door to the rooms. Hello, Rufus. I hold up the medallion and wait. I'm not about to rush a man with a bat, especially one as blood-stained as his is. Then he nods, and I'm granted passage. He watches me go to my assigned room. I suppose it's good measure to prevent theft, but then so is a blood-stained bat. Sleep doesn't come easily at first. How can I risk sleeping in the marketplace? But it does come for me. In the metaphorical cold light of morning, I see the sense in my choice last night. I cannot leave the marketplace without lunar ichor. Thus, staying is my only real choice. Ichor? I don't know. I still don't know. I'm able to order something like breakfast from the Leaping Bear's kitchen, and then sit deep in thought staring at a bowl of porridge. Eating in this mask is a bit of a bother. I have to navigate the spoon around the mask. There's clasps, you know. I start at the sudden appearance of the proprietress. What? Feel along the sides of the mask. There should be pins or clasps holding the bottom part. I do as she said and find little clasps holding the two parts of my mask together. How did I not notice that there was two parts to the mask to begin with? Reaper! Well, I feel like a proper fool. It already feels strange having my mouth exposed. Like a funny kind of nudity. Newcomers are all a bit foolish. That's part of their charm. Thank you, I think. Just keep weird wits about you. You'll live. You make it sound so dire. Well, you're here, aren't you? You're not wrong. No one comes here without good reason, I should think. What's yours? A personal matter. Buying or selling? That's all there is down here, that, after all. Buying. Something I might not be able to afford, it turns out. That won't narrow things down too much for her. Well, depends how you try to buy things, doesn't it? Money will get you anywhere if you have enough of it. But there's other roads out there. Is that something you'd know a lot about? I couldn't say. I only know what stories the guests bring in. She says it flippantly enough that there must be a story there, but I resist the urge to dig. Then I suppose my next job is to find what paths I can use. Thank you. Oh, not a problem. The masks trouble everyone at first. She sweeps away to handle another matter, and I'm left with far more productive thoughts. Money won't get me lunar ichor, but something else might. Influence, friendship, violence, guile. My body, if it comes down to it. Anything. There's a lot to think about. Am I going to stay in a guest house for weeks or months? What possible ways are there to get lunar ichor? Let's start with one foot in front of the other. Good call. Over the next several days, I get to learn the layout of the marketplace. It's an ever-shifting rat's nest of stalls and passages and unmanaged pathways, but there are some fixed landmarks. I can navigate somewhat comfortably by those landmarks when they're visible. One evening, based on my own internal clock, The proprietress of the Leaping Bear hints over a meal that, as long as I'm well behaved, she'd be willing to extend more generous long-term rates to me. Yeah! Look what happens. Look what happens when you're good, okay? When you're nice and you're well behaved and you're respectful to staff. Look what happens, people. I wasn't planning to misbehave, even less so with Rufus keeping an eye on me. And so that settles the matter of lodging for the moment. As for the lunar ichor, I'm at a loss. It is rare, absurdly rare. And based on the reactions of those I speak to about it, some aspect of it is very taboo. Likely the condition it treats. I'm wandering one of the quieter passages, clearly natural by how uneven the ground is. It's mostly homes, built on whatever smooth patch of stone the builder could find. But there's one that towers over the rest. A tall church with heavy oaken doors. Where normally I would expect to see a golden 10-point solar sigil, instead there's a more simplistic crescent-shaped one. The lunar sigil. Ah, I suppose the solar god isn't much help down here. I've seen the eerie blue-green light of glowworms and the smoky gold of lanterns, but I've not seen the sun since I started my descent. Churches dedicated to the lunar god exist outside the mountain, but not in any significant numbers. The lunar god, lunar ichor. Can't hurt to ask, could it? I'm not sure I believe that the lunar god must bleed for there to be lunar ichor. Ichor? Ichor? I don't know. God, I'm gonna keep thinking about it. I'm gonna be wrong. But there's no harm in asking. Hey, stop! I halted my path instinctively, although after a moment I could see no one was speaking to me. Instead, there's a raucous crowd gathering just down the tunnel, shouting and tussling. A few people in utilitarian masks and what look like uniforms are trying to push their way through. Looks like trouble. Run to safety in the church. Stay and see what happens next. I'm a nosy little person. Idle curiosity keeps me where I am, watching the ruckus of the crowd intensify. Very suddenly, one of the members of the crowd breaks away and sprints. Directly towards me. I start moving backwards, trying to step aside. I misjudge my step and stumble. I fling a hand out in an attempt to find my balance. The sprinter slows down very slightly as they get closer to me, slow enough to catch my hand and jerk me forward. I try and pull my hand away, but it's impossible. The runner pulls me along and I have to use all my focus to keep up. Stop! Thief! Thief. I cannot help my astonished outburst. What? Like you're surprised? We pelt down a tunnel. Many of the people step aside for us, hardly surprised by a pair sprinting away from a collection of uniformed officials. I wouldn't want to be involved either. I did just say I would be well behaved at the inn, and now I've messed this up. Oh no! The runner takes a sharp turn, nearly wrenching my arm from its socket. I yelp as I follow along. Then we take a turn into some sort of business establishment. The runner does not slow down for a second as the shopkeeper opens their back door for us and closes it once we're through. It's a whole-ass operation. The back alley we're in is uncomfortably cramped, and we have to shuffle through. Hold on. All at once, the thief turns, grasps my shoulders, and pushes me backwards until I'm pinned against a wall. At least buy me dinner first, okay? What the? Shh, shh, shh. Sorry, I'm okay. It's fine. I'm okay. That little movement forward didn't do anything to me. I'm okay. We're both panting. The thief leans in until I'm nearly pressed body to body with them. Stay quiet for 20 seconds. Helpless, I have to follow the thief's lead. I do everything in my power to breathe silently and try to tuck myself behind the stranger. After a count of 30, the thief gives me space. Who are you exactly? Reaper. Okay, Reaper. Do you trust me? Yes? No. We're gonna pull a Princess Jasmine and say yes. The word is out before I can think about it. Yes. The thief's mask turned towards me in a single abrupt motion. The fuck? Dude, I got nothing to lose, sweetie. Like, I got nothing to lose. And what other choice do I have? Not trusting a stranger. I'm fairly confident that's a masculine voice. It sounds utterly gobsmacked. That's a good word. Gobsmacked is a really good word. Yes, okay. I love seeing different words and like quote unquote strange words. It's good. We're expanding our vocabulary even with the word that I don't know how to pronounce. Not in a good way. And what happens if I run off? You get arrested. Then trusting you is the right thing to do. By the lunar god's scars, it's not. He's definitely exasperated with me now, but I'm not going to stop needling this idiot. Are you suggesting I should go get myself arrested for what sounds to be your crime? No, you should definitely listen to what I'm saying, but you shouldn't just fucking trust me. Very well. You're a criminal and a scoundrel. I don't trust you. Lead the way to our escape now. His sigh is long-suffering, as though he was the one who just abducted and led on a chase. The gall. Keep quiet until I tell you it's all right to speak again. Not yet. What's your name, thief? You got mine. I'm a thief. I'm supposed to take things. Do you want me to call you thief while we're walking around? Would you like that kind of attention? Ugh. You're not always going to be this mouthy, right? Depends on how much you deserve it. Ooh, I like that name. Kier? Call me Kier. Pleased to meet you, Kier. Really? Not yet. And now you're going to shut up. Fine. I didn't say you could talk yet. Oh my god! Kier, man. God. I've grown comfortable with the anonymity. That's another word, it's very hard for me. Of my mask. But it's a great shame I can't show Kier what exactly I think of his sass. To be fair, he's probably thinking the same thing. We sneak through back alleys, shuffling between buildings that seem to be leaning into each other. I have no idea where we are at this point. I've lost sight of all my usual landmarks, and there's every chance I'm in a cavern I've never explored before. Kier at least looks to be completely comfortable navigating the space. We stop at a dead end. Or so we thought! Or at least it looks like a dead end for a moment. Kier shoves aside a collection of heavy planks and a short, narrow passage is revealed. Watch your step. We have to crouch and nearly crawl through the passage, but it's mercifully short. It leads into a small open space behind several rough-built houses. At least I think they're houses. A lanky teen staring us down from behind a scrappy, stiffened fabric mask. Hey! We're sunstone polishers, don't mind us. Okay. What was that? A code phrase? Still no talking. I roll my eyes behind the privacy of my mask. Then I take real stock of my surroundings. I'm in a strange place with a man I cannot trust, and I only know about one exit. The one behind me. Get out of here. Stay. No, I'm committed. I am now committed to this bit. We staying. I can't try and flee now and risk the danger of a chase. And what do those authorities who are chasing us find me? Patience. Kier shoves past the teen and I follow close behind. Wherever we are, I feel safer with him than alone. We squeeze between two houses and end up on a busy, cramped road. The glowworm light that illuminates all the caverns is mostly blocked out by the homes on either side of us. Then we're in a small square of sorts. It's an open space with the most sturdy buildings of this area all around, and there's paths leading away in all directions. It's dark, but I can see glimpses of masks in the shutters that crack open and watch us. Kier! Hey, I'm home. This is the first time I've heard any warmth in his voice. It's such an abrupt change, I almost can't believe it's the same man behind the mask. A child jumps from the low second-story window, landing on Kier's back. Hey, give a man a warning. You're gonna break my back. No way! You menace. He reaches around and pulls the kid off him, holding them up by one arm. The kid is kicking and wiggling and laughing. You better say sorry or you'll be stuck there forever. Sorry! Kier lets the kid down. Sorry you're so old! Burn! Burn. Nice, kid. High five. The kid and a few of their friends pelt away and Kier protests loudly, but even I can hear him smiling. Kier, who's this? Someone plucks at my long sleeve, tugging my arm. I twist away sharply. That's Reaper. Or so they told me. Do I get to speak yet? Nah, I like the silence. Well, I suppose you've enjoyed enough of that. Could never get enough. I am called Reaper, though you can decide whether you believe me. Okay, so I put them both really low. I should probably change theirs up a little bit. What's a stranger doing here? Needed a decoy. Turns out they're the right size. A decoy? Wow, you gotta be quick on your feet to keep up with Kier. Yeah, I was impressed. Thought I was gonna lose them for sure. No, stop, explain. Not everyone can keep up with me. You know that's not what I meant. What do you mean a decoy? You know what a decoy is, right? I needed one. You fit the profile. He's evading. Why? You needed a decoy to deceive some kind of authority. You needed a decoy, and you're a thief. Yes, very smart. Was I a decoy for someone you were working with, or someone you stole? Oh, damn. That's a quick one for sure. It sounds like I'm right. And what were you planning on doing with me when you were done, I was going to let you leave. It's such a blatant lie, my jaw drops. Does he really think I'll believe that? No way! You can't let them leave now that they can find their way here. Oh, so I'm a prisoner now? Kier, what were you thinking? I was thinking you'd play the bad guy, Griff, and let me be the hero. Looks like you're not on today. What? I was thinking that someone who can run and dodge the authorities is an asset. He faces me as he says that. What? What? He did not just try to recruit me. Kier, you're insane. You can say that all you like. I'm right. We need them to stay quiet. I wasn't planning on involving the authorities. And why should I trust you when you say that? You might be naive enough to trust a stranger, but I know better. You're the one who asked me. So we'll let them learn even more about us? That's about the shape of things. Once you're involved, you're the same type of criminal as the rest of us. And if I am involved against my will? Yeah. The enforcement here is just so kind and understanding. I'm sure they'll take you at your word. More people, plain masked and curious, are gathering around. I don't know why you're being so hostile to me when I didn't ask for any of this. Because you don't understand. If we get caught stealing, we're killed. The only way we can even start to trust you is if you've also got a noose around your neck. And I didn't ask for any of this. Doesn't matter. You... Let it go. Let him have it. Nah, let him have it. I would show him that we do not get messed around with. You manipulative gutter slime. Hey! I was nothing to you, and you've decided, just for the fun, I suppose, to destroy my life. You're fucking horrible. Griff seems keen to get me to shut up, but Kier's hand settles calmly on his shoulder. He knows he's earned this. I suppose I'm just some random insignificant stranger. What could my thoughts and feelings possibly have to do with anything? Well, if you need a noose around my neck, you have it. But don't think this means I'll ever be able to trust you. There's a moment of quiet. My heart is pounding, and in my head there's nothing but screaming. I'm so angry I can hardly breathe. Are you done? Like he's talking to a child, not an adult whose existence he's irreparably changed for the worse. You're blackmailing me. Don't you fucking dare condescend me too. Kier doesn't answer. Finally. There's a quiet moment. Everyone around us seems to be coming to the same conclusion as me. I'm cornered. I don't have a choice in this. I keep my voice as flat and neutral as possible. Not really, no. Then what do I do? You run a few jobs with us, get that noose good and tight. And then, if you want to leave, you get yourself a new identity and you leave. You already put on a mask and picked a name once, right, Reaper? Right. Then you can do it again. You sure about this, though? Yeah. With Gups down for the count, we need a new lookout. Reaper's got what it takes. I sure hope you don't think that counts as a compliment. When I compliment you, if that ever happens, you'll know. Good to know. And we're not using Eve because Eve is 12. Don't be stupid, Griff. Fine. I'll do what you need, and then I'm out. Hey, no need to make it sound like a prison sentence. Isn't it? You've talked about a noose being around my neck. Is this not a prison sentence? Am I not being held here against my will? Prisoners don't get paid. You will. What? We're pragmatic. We're not monsters. You do the work, you get paid. Can we really afford? Yes, Griff. I've heard we're getting our favorite visitor in a few weeks. We'll all be getting paid. Hell yes. What do you mean paid? Caught your attention, have I? I think it's fair to know what my wages are going to be. The number Kier gives is not gobsmackingly high. Yeah, that word is twice in one chapter! Good stuff! I like it. But it's not low either. A few jobs can make for some comfortable living at the Leaping Bear for a long time. Then again, it won't solve my big problem. Good enough? I have a counteroffer. The idea in my head is half-formed, but I have to pursue it. Oh, are we negotiating? You're a thief. Yes, that's well established. Which means if I want something instead of money, you could get it. Depends on the thing. Lunar Eaker. The crowd around us bursts into a flurry of whispers. Well, at least they know it's important. Kier's voice changes suddenly, the timbre low in a way I can't interpret. You need Eaker? I do. For what? Why should I trust you enough to say? Rude. Blackmailer. There's a long pause. That's a lot of jobs you're going to have to work to earn something that pricey. Would I be able to make enough money to buy it? Not in your life, I don't think. Not with us, at least. Then working for you is my best shot at getting it. Griff suddenly pulls on Kier's cloak and he leans in. There's whispering and I'm not nearly close enough to hear it. Then they separate and Kier runs his hand over his mask. It's a gesture of pure exhaustion. Fine. The whispers rise in intensity. You work with us, you get your eker. He holds out a gloved hand. We have a deal? I slowly reach out. He clasps my hand and we shake on it. Deal. I'm tempted for a second to think this was too easy. But it really wasn't. Kier calls out into the crowd. Someone go out with them to get their things. Pardon? We can't have you sneaking in and out all the time. Too dangerous. We just finished moving here as well. So I live here now? You'll get a room of your own. Eventually a volunteer comes forward. Together we sneak out of the hidden community and return to the Leaping Bear. They refuse to talk to me and just follow me like a shadow into my room while I gather the few things I left there. Some clothes, the odd knickknacks I've managed to acquire, my hygiene supplies. Then it's time to return the key. Hello. Oh, Reaper. Good to see you. Ready to pay for more time? You're definitely the reliable sort, so I can offer a good rate. Not this time. Sorry. I found somewhere else. A little closer to my goals. I dropped the key on the counter in front of her. Thank you, though. The Leaping Bear was becoming a bit of a new home for me. She's quiet for a few seconds. Then she drops her voice low. So low I can barely hear her. Do you need help? That shadow of yours is unwelcome. Rufus can remove them. Why do I love this side character so much? Oh, I love her. Oh, my heart. I love her. Oh, if there's something I can do for her in the future, I want to do it. It's like anything she needs, I'm like, let me help you, please. What? Oh. Oh, no. Things are fine. Rufus doesn't need to do anything. I'm fine. My new arrangements came as a surprise, but I did say yes to the offer. Never mind what kind of duress they put me under. I did agree. Good then. Never liked seeing my clientele go places they weren't interested in going. Thank you for staying with us. The proprietor's voice is a little more formal than I'm used to. I suppose now that I'm leaving, I'll likely never see her again. It's a little disappointing. I have no real bonds here in the marketplace, but I was getting used to the Leaping Bear. Goodbye. I was getting used to the Leaping Bear. I leave, my shadow close behind me. Eventually they take the lead, guiding me to yet another hidden passage. How many ways of sneaking in and out are there? As we enter the cavern again, someone is there waiting for us. Hey! My shadow answers quickly. Don't mind us, just here to polish some sunstones. Then I'm being led back into the tight network of pathways built between closely built homes, until we're stopped in the square again. Kier! I'm done being a babysitter! I see Kier, or at least his mask, turn to face us. Already? You don't have to sound so annoyed. I didn't have many earthly possessions to start with. Getting them was easy. Good. We found a room for you, too. You'll be staying with me. But this escalated quickly. I'm sorry, what? Kier brings home a stray. He gets to take care of it. A stray? Griff, Reaper's a person. Use their name. The way he says it, it sounds like this is a frequent topic of discussion. My home is small, but I get a lot of guests, so I keep a spare room. Then I suppose I should thank you for your hospitality. It would be nice. Maybe later. Kier suddenly stands next to me and pats my back, right between my shoulders. Let's get going. I've had a long-ass day and I need to take a break. Are you even going to be able to relax with a stranger in your home? No, but it's nice to pretend. We start walking. By the way, welcome to Mousehole. What a name for this place. The twisting paths between the buildings are a tangled mess, and there's no easy landmark to orient myself with. Further from the square, the homes and businesses, such as they are are packed so tightly together that the blue-green glowworm light from above doesn't reach us. Instead, the warm flickering light of lamps and lanterns fills the pathway. It's dim, but at this point that's hardly a problem. My eyes are certainly used to the constant glow of the marketplace. Here we are. It's one home sandwiched tightly between two others, nearly indistinguishable from the rest. The only identifiable thing I noticed are the closed shutters, painted blue instead of a simple sealed raw wood. Kier unlocks the door and holds it open for me. Come inside. I step in. It's small and cramped as anyone would have guessed, but when Kier lights the lantern by the front door, I can see that it's comfortably arranged space. None of the furniture matches, but all of it works in some odd kind of cluttered harmony. Compliment his home, stay quiet. You know, I was thinking good things about it, so shouldn't I compliment it? You have a nice home? That was nearly a compliment. I suppose I'll take it. That's all I can give right now. At least I can say that I tried. There's a water closet behind that door. If you use the water up, you'll have to get more. I can show you where after I get some sleep. Your room is there. The key's in the lock. That's the only key. Don't lose it. Understood. If you buy and keep your own food, that's fine. Otherwise, you contribute to my budget and share what I get. Any other rules I ought to know? Don't be destructive. Don't make a racket while I'm sleeping. And if I leave? Go around the neighborhood as much as you like. If you try to leave without an escort, expect the watch to notice and stop you. I'm going to have something to eat before bed. You hungry? I'm glad he can't see the surprise on my face. Are you sure? About letting you have a snack? About keeping me here. Oh. Here's the thing, Reaper. I'm not that worried about you murdering me in my sleep. My door lock's the same as yours. And honestly, eternal rest isn't exactly something I'm dreading. He chuckles a little. If you decide to make yourself into a problem, we can find somewhere else to put you. Griff knows a pretty obscure tunnel that goes straight down if you're really unbearable. If it's all the same, I'd like to avoid that. It's easy enough to think of this as just another guest house, that Kier's no worse than Rufus. Intimidating, but ultimately harmless. He steps towards what I assume to be a cooking space. The counter is exceptionally cluttered, but he is able to find his goal with ease. A shallow wood bowl. Here. He takes a handful of whatever it is from the bowl and then holds it out to me. This is deadly poison. Eat up. Closer look tells me that it's actually an assortment of dried fruits. He's funny. He's sassy and funny. I fall for sassy and funny. I'm gonna take a few. Hell yeah. No harm in getting a snack. I take a few and Kier puts the bowl away again. He doesn't reveal his mouth as he nibbles, instead threading the fruit under his mask. I'm doing the same. Well, get yourself some rest. Don't murder me in my sleep. I'll resist the temptation as best I can. Kier departs suddenly, taking himself and his handful of dried fruits into his bedroom. I hear the lock click decisively, and I'm suddenly alone again. Free to indulge my curiosity privately, I do a quick tour of this front room. Kier certainly made an effort to make this a livable space, but it seems to be as far as his efforts have gone. Not much for entertainment here, is there? Maybe he doesn't have friends over much. I continue nibbling. The sticky, sweet, tart taste coats the back of my tongue. My search is quick in the end. Has to be with so little to look at. I slip into the dark guest bedroom, as though I'm an intruder. For a moment, I feel like I am. It is the same cozy but spare feel of the main room, not a space I could call my own. Door locked, I give myself permission to relax. Kier could very well have a second key to this room, or choose to break or bypass the lock in some way. There's little use worrying about it. I'm already so keyed up from stress that adding the possibility of being murdered in my sleep would make resting impossible. What have I gotten myself into? I've been recruited into a gang of thieves against my will. A gang that a gang that likely steals to survive, but there's one thing that leaves me deeply uncomfortable. If I was a decoy for something Kier stole, that means Kier was stealing a person. Could I live with myself helping to steal people? I mean, what if they're stealing them from, like, bad guys? Maybe they're not bad guys. There must be a good reason, right? There is no good reason. There must be. There has to be. It feels desperate. It feels like I'm trying to find the silver lining of a hurricane. But I need, for my own sanity, to believe that whatever Kier is doing is for the best. I swallow hard, trying to chase these thoughts away. I'm not going to sleep at all, am I? I follow the motions of getting ready for bed. I even take off my mask, though I'm careful to lie down with my back to the door. After some hours of trying to find a comfortable position, I must have fallen asleep, because Kier wakes me up with sharp knocks to the door. In the days that follow, I get used to the pace of life in Mouse Hole. I am, as promised, left to my own devices for the most part. I can sense people getting tense when I drift towards any of the myriad exits, but I'm not about to test my luck with an ill-considered escape attempt. Kier seems as a popular one. He's constantly being called this way or that, attending to roof repairs or settling quarrels, but that's only when I see him, which is quite rare. We are quite often ships that pass in the night. In my first days, I was largely ignored. None of the regular residents wanted to interact with me. I have to admit, it nearly drove me mad. But once I proved to their satisfaction that I'm not a deranged maniac, the people seemed keen to get an additional set of hands in their work. I've chopped vegetables and hauled water and watched babies and held a lot of ladders in place. It's not hard work, but it conquers my boredom and gives me a chance to make small talk. Reaper, I need a hand. On it. Shale, one of the friendliest people in Mousehole, is stacking crates near an exit passage. Not sure how much I can help. I don't think my reach is longer than yours. I just need some more support. Excuse me. I just need a little more support so I can... Hup! They do a short hop and shove the crate into place. If you got time, I could use a hand a little longer. My schedule is packed, but I can skip a social engagement or two to help. Shale's chuckle is gratifying. Very funny. But aren't you going to the strategy meeting soon? Strategy meeting? You're running lookout, aren't you? I believe that was the arrangement, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Hey, Reaper! We gotta talk strats! God, sounds like someone playing League of Legends before you go into a Clash tournament. Speak of the devil. Looks like I'm doing this on my own. I wouldn't want you to skip that social engagement. Thank you, Shale. Maybe there will be some barrels we can roll around later to make up for this. I think there's an empty one around here somewhere. The kids took it to roll each other in. That I would love to see. Are you ignoring me, Reaper? Not in the slightest. You know how much I love talking with you. Bye, Shale. Bye. I make my way towards Kier. I'm a little more comfortable following him through the narrow, winding paths of Mousehole now. What were you doing there? Trying to give Shale a hand? Makes sense. Shale's always finding good tasks to get the kids involved in community work. Did you just call me a child? You're probably right, but I resent that remark. Anyway, get moving. Everyone's waiting on you. You say that like I deliberately dallied. This is the first time I'm hearing about a meeting. Then we'll need to fix your communication, too. Hey, waiting for me to ask, when are you holding a secret meeting I don't even know is a possibility, is not reasonable. Yeah, get moving. We duck into one of the buildings on the square. Kier has to duck particularly low. The door frame is unusually short, and he is a fairly tall man. Hey, Kier. Finally found them? I wasn't hiding. Found them just fine, thanks. I wasn't hiding. I take a seat at the table with several other individuals. The room is extremely dark, even for an underground room. but I think I can see hints of this being a pub or a bar of some kind. Real quick, Reaper. These are Lave and Hollow. Hollow? Halo. Halo. Lave and Halo. You already know Griff. Terrible seeing you again, Reaper. Likewise. One of the other two gives me a slow, casual wave. Lavernia. Call me Lave. My girl here is Halo. The other one, Halo, gives me a near imperceptible nod. She's leaned in close to Lave. Not the talkative sort of couple, then. Okay, Griff, what's the brief? We've got a commission. Fuck off! Kier's already approved it, don't worry. It's fine, Lave. Griff gave me the full rundown of the client. We've got a commission to relieve the auctioneer of a few choice pieces. Oh! I don't know, I didn't... What the? Okay. Okay, so that's cutting. She's cussing and saying, like, no, we're not doing it. And for some reason, it automatically cuts to Griff's line before I click anything. So, just that's a heads up. Not the auction. I'm not crazy. The auctioneer. That means crossing the ruby walls. The what? You've done that half a dozen times. And nearly died each time. We're not dead yet. Not you too, Kier. You're supposed to be sensible. I am being sensible. This is a huge potential payoff, and we have an in. Keep listening. I want to just interrupt. Keep listening. I don't fully understand, but I'm not about to interrupt this discussion without good reason. Fine. We'll do the extremely dangerous job behind the ruby walls. That's the spirit. So we cross the walls. Easy. And we all know where the auctioneer's house is. Our inn is the new building being done at the club next door. It's an easy climb from there to the balcony, which doesn't have a lock. You and Halo are going to find and lift the pieces we're after. Kier and me are going to be defense and distraction. And Reaper will try to live up to the Gups example. Not a terrible plan. Not a good plan either. Halo's voice is so ghostly, I'm not entirely sure I heard it. Obviously, it sounds dumb without the important details. Griff draws a map on the tabletop with a stick of chalk and carefully walks us through each step. For the most part, I understand. My role is, if nothing else, comically easy. Stand by, signal if there are other people around. Okay. You with us, Reaper? I don't have much of a choice in that, do I? He's asking if you understand. Almost everything. Almost. I've gleaned that the auctioneer's home is on the level above a pleasure parlor, something you did not explain. But I don't know what the ruby walls are. How do you not know that? I've been under the mountain for less than a month and you're locals. That's how. Fine. The ruby walls are a series of walls that have a vein of raw rubies in them in the main market cavern. There's gates that theoretically anyone can go through. But in practice, it's a space for the rich and beautiful. Exactly. And it's heavily guarded beyond the walls, hence the danger. Yep. Now I understand. And in the future, you'll speak up immediately if there's something you don't know. But you guys love to tell me things after the fact. You're always telling me not to talk, and now this? I'm serious. I'm not risking my own neck to save you if you're in a stupid situation. You get in trouble, you're on your own. So I'm an acceptable loss. Exactly. Let's get ready to go. The four of them stand up. I follow their lead. My cloak is just barely fine enough to be worn beyond the ruby walls, but the other four take the chance to fancy themselves up. God, back in these awful things. Kier holds up a heavy, richly embroidered cloak. Imagining him in it is comical. Pfft. Laughing at me, Reaper? Yes. Ha! And you, Lave? She shrugs. They're right. You look stupid in that. It doesn't match. It really doesn't. I keep telling you, buddy, you're made of iron, not silver. Griff's already in his disguise. Like you're one to talk. You look like a child going through daddy's closet. Griff's short stature and casual posture, leaning into Kier, is completely at odds with his jeweled hood and satin cape. Knowing what he's like honestly makes it even funnier. You look like you robbed Satine without a lantern. Now I'm gonna join in. This is fun. You look like a throw pillow fucked a jewelry box. I'm good. Oh my god. Lave bursts into laughter. Mostly at Halo's response, I assume. Reaper. Oh no. Oh no. Kier reaches over, takes hold of my shoulder, and holds tight as he curls into himself, choking on laughter. Laugh it up. After a second, Griff looks at me. It wasn't that funny. You just surprised them with vulgarity. Kier pops up, a smile in his voice. Nah, it was a bit funny. You really put it over the top, Halo. Oh no, Thanks, Halo. The laughter dies away a little, though the mood has definitely been lifted. Things settle down again. I don't know why I put up with you. Kier pats his shoulder firmly. Neither do I. There's some more scattered laughs, but the atmosphere of the room slowly turns more serious. Halo and Lave are checking each other's disguises, ensuring their weapons are not visible to passersby. Kier's checking over his own knife carefully. It's beautiful and likely quite old, unlike the rest of his daily wear. Should I be armed? It's not a good idea, obviously. I'm a rank novice and would be far more likely to be stabbed with my own knife than use it to properly defend myself. Still, I can't help but feel a twinge of fear. A knife won't make me feel less frightened. But it's hard to convince myself of that fact. The rest of the preparations happen in anticipatory silence. Ready? Then let's move. And with that, I'm gonna stop it there. That was so good. I think I'm making good choices. I might be going for Kier because there's just a little. I like it when characters butt heads. Okay, I'm an enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers. Like those are my things. That's my shippings. That's my genre. That's my trope. That's all of it. I think I'm gonna go for Kier, guys. Oh, but again, background was awesome. The small details to, again, the sounds of leaving the market, the small details of our character, the MC, like changing their face. Some of the sprites were looking down, sometimes we were looking away. Just small details that were really, really nice in the game. I'm excited for this one. This is only chapter 1 and I didn't even get to finish the demo, so I'm very much looking forward to the future chapters that come from it. And that is Obscura. This is probably, yeah, oh god, that was... Along with the other things I've said, the pacing of it seems really, really nice too. We're not dawdling, we're meeting characters, we're doing things. I do think, because I know there's 2 romance routes, so depending on what I had done, had I gone into the building or had I stayed and seen the fight, which is what I did, I wonder if that was where the 2 romances came in, you know? So we stayed, so we got to meet Kier. I wonder if we went to the building, would we have met the other romance? So we will see, or will we meet the second romance when we go onto this mission? I don't know. I don't know. I'm a fan of both a little bit, of like meeting both romances, or yup, you chose a path and this is the romance you got from it based on, you know, the choices you made as the character. So I'm excited to see that. Ah, there's been so many good games, guys. I hope y'all know my backlog for games after September is over is just, it's gonna be so long. It's so long already. And if you want to see me play all of those games, you want to see me play all of these Otomes that I've just barely touched on in September, All of my info is down in the description box below. I will be streaming the second, the third, the fourth, the future parts of all these Otomes at, at my Twitch channel, on my Twitch channel. So please, please, please follow me over there. As well, in the description box is going to be all the information for this game. So if you want to play it and you want to check it out, I 100% highly recommend it. And again, it's all down there. And with that, I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.